And she started knocking on my door every single day. Not aggressively, not angrily, not like someone who wanted a fight, just enough to remind me she was there. That fake, polite knock that pretended to be friendly, but beneath it, I could feel the intention. It was the kind of knock that trained you to flinch, to pause, to think twice before opening the door. At first, I didn't think much of it. People knock sometimes. Neighbors talk. That's normal, right? I told myself maybe she had a question, maybe it was just casual concern. But then I noticed the pattern, same time, same rhythm, same fake smile. The words, the tone, even the way she held herself, it all felt rehearsed. Every single visit, every single knock, calculated, precise, intentionally invasive. She introduced herself with authority, not friendliness. Not hello, nice to meet you, but I need to remind you. Remind me of what? Rules, guidelines, policies she never clearly explained. She just insisted, implying that I had no choice but to comply. Every visit ended the same way. Polite warning wrapped in a friendly tone. Subtle threats hidden in casual language. A reminder that she was just doing her job, yet somehow the job was control. At first, I listened. I nodded. I tried to cooperate, because when someone acts calm, you assume they're reasonable. You assume there's a logical explanation. And yet, the longer it went on, the more I realized something unsettling. Then the notes started appearing. Folded papers slipped under my door. Placed carefully, like evidence in a case I didn't know existed. They always began politely. Just following up, just making sure you're aware, just a friendly reminder. But underneath that polite language, there was an invisible edge, vague accusations, undefined violations. Consequences that were never explained. Everything written as if I had done something wrong, yet nothing was clear. I began to notice the timing. She never knocked when anyone else was around. Not when neighbors were outside, not when cars were parked nearby, only when it was quiet, only when it was just me. That's when I realized this wasn't about rules. This wasn't about property or guidelines. This was about control. She didn't want compliance. She wanted fear. She didn't want me to follow rules. She wanted me anxious. She wanted me waiting for the next knock, rehearsing my responses, wondering what she would say, wondering what she could claim next. And for a while, it worked. I started listening for footsteps. I started timing my routines differently. I jumped at unexpected knocks. I rehearsed answers in my head before opening the door. She wasn't loud at first. That was the worst part. Her calm, polite demeanor masked her intent. It trained you to expect her. It trained you to doubt yourself. One afternoon, she knocked again. Same smile, same posture, same routine. And something in me shifted. I didn't feel confused anymore. I felt aware. Aware of her patterns, aware of her intention, aware of the game she was playing. Before opening the door, I unlocked my phone. Quietly, I hit record. I didn't point it at her. I didn't announce it. I just let it run. When I opened the door, she didn't notice at first. Same polite greeting, same rehearsed concern. She launched into the familiar speech. Vague complaints, invented rules, implied violations. Then halfway through, her eyes flicked to the screen. And for half a second, the mask cracked. "Are you recording?" she asked. I didn't answer. That silence changed everything. Her words slowed, her tone shifted. Her authority, once commanding, now sounded uncertain. She repeated herself, corrected herself, contradicted herself. She started pacing. The smile was gone. The calm, forced. Recording did something powerful. It removed the shadows she hid in. It removed the fear she relied on. It exposed her performance for what it was. She tried to regain control, raised her voice. Pointed, threatened things she couldn't explain, but the energy had shifted. For the first time, she looked unsure. She told me she'd follow up. She warned me this wasn't over. But the confidence was gone. She left quickly. No polite goodbye, no lingering stare, no triumphant smirk. The next day, silence. No knock, no note, no reminder. A week passed, still nothing. The silence was louder than the knocks ever were. Because the truth was clear, she lost control. She relied on isolation. She relied on fear. She relied on silence. When I introduced awareness, documentation, and observation, her power evaporated. People like this thrive in shadows. They need uncertainty. They need a target that's alone. Expose them. Observe them, don't panic, don't argue, don't fight. Sometimes all it takes is light. Recording wasn't revenge, it wasn't aggression, it was balance. And once the balance shifted, she disappeared from my life. The lessons are clear. 1. Authority without accountability is fragile. 2. People who act brave when no one is watching rely on secrecy. 3. Awareness is the ultimate defense. If you've ever faced someone like this, remember, you don't need to confront them aggressively. You don't need to fight them with words. You just need to step into the light, because control survives in shadows, and once exposed, it fades fast.